Episode 1. Have you ever thought about how crazy it is that you can travel 50 miles to hang out with your friend for multiple hours and travel 50 miles again to come back home in the same day? I don't know, sometimes I picture telling that to someone 200 years ago and try to imagine what their reaction would be. I mean, there are a lot of people even today that can hardly imagine that. It's kind of primarily something that us Americans do, but still, 50 miles is extremely far away, and I just think we take things like that for granted. That not only is it possible, but that it's normal and easy to do. Similarly, I think refrigerators and freezers are also a crazy concept. We've had ways to preserve food for ages, but not on the scale, I don't think, that we're able to today. Like, the fact that fridges are considered an essential household item in a world with millions of households.
It says, George says that every American should have a vacuum cleaner in their basement. What do you think, gentlemen?
What's a vacuum cleaner?
And many households even have multiple. And then all the different kinds of appliances and tools that we get to cook and prepare food in different ways. And even still then, families today are using those tools to meal prep and prepare supple amounts of food to have easy access to for weeks in advance. And they don't even grow their own food. I'd guess that easily over half of the country doesn't even understand how 80% of plants even work. And yet they're all getting fed. What I'm getting to is that there's so many things we have that would normally take days, weeks, or even months for a person to accomplish that we can now accomplish in days, hours, or even minutes. There's lots of examples of this, and if you can think of some, leave a comment. Now, the subject certainly isn't new, but I have no idea how mainstream these ideas are beyond my personal bubble of friends and things that I consume, which is why I'm making this video. So what now? We have it pretty good. We're saving time left and right because we're not really concerned about our basic needs, if we're being completely honest. Most of us have apartments or houses. We don't have to hunt and gather our food and electricity, or spend 5 minutes scrubbing an individual article of clothing. I'm trying to use all this time and privilege that I have as an American to create things with meaning and give something back to the world, which is going to be a theme that you'll hear a lot about in this series. Yes, I'm making this a series. This is episode 1 of what I'm calling the Contemplation series to express a lot of my ponderings about the world. Anyway, so it's apparent that most people don't use their time wisely. I mean, the point of inventions that streamline our lives is to give us more time to be productive, right? Hear me out. What I mean by productivity is not just busy work. That's only part of it. Because some of you are thinking, no, I want more free time to spend with my friends and family. And that's reasonable, and that's included in my definition. So I'm going to show you this chart. This is how I view productivity. You see, there's social productivity, aka quality time with loved ones. Hanging out with people, having meals together, talking about things, developing emotionally, exchanging ideas, even just putting some effort into scheduling the time to hang out with your friends and family or a long-distance phone call. I count that as productivity. And then there's household productivity, or tidiness, doing laundry, dishes, sweeping, wiping down surfaces, taking out the garbage, etc. Things that you don't feel like doing, but you ought to, and inevitably will have to do. My take is, why not convince your consciousness that it is good and rewarding to do those things? Sadly, most of us aren't raised to believe that this type of productivity can actually be fun. For me, it took years of self-discipline to train my brain into feeling excited and rewarded by being productive in this way. Then there's administrative productivity, like doing your taxes, scheduling that doctor appointment, canceling a monthly subscription you haven't been using and forgot about and just realize it's still been taking your money, replacing a fuse on your dash, renewing your tabs, sorting your mail, changing your mailing address. Again, with these things, if you would stop thinking of them as a chore or an adult thing, they become much easier to do. Finally, there's creative productivity, or you doing something that you're gifted at. For me, this is composing music, art, scripting and editing videos, writing curriculums, seeking clientele, researching and studying things that have to do with said gifts. For you, it could be pottery, welding, woodworking, interior design, charity work, refurbishing furniture. I don't know, figure it out. So, my conclusive thought is this. The reality is, people don't typically go about their day with this pattern of thinking, because it takes quite a bit of internal dialogue and self-discipline. So in not being productive in our boredom, for all our basic needs always being met, we get caught up in really lame things, like arguing about worldviews and get the government involved in all of none of their business. We start questioning who we are on a fundamental level and want to change our identities every day. We rot on the couch and consume meaningless media. We get drunk and high and stumble through life without purpose, prioritizing things that just don't matter at all. We just totally lose the plot. And people have noticed that men in wars live life with purpose, typically. My wife has noted that for men specifically, it is a biological must to work. Maybe not necessarily have a blue-collar career, but to do something that keeps them physically active, gives them a reason to change habitats, interact with others, achieve something with their hands, earn rapport, etc. In other words, be productive. Obviously, I'm not saying that war is necessary or that I prefer it. What I'm saying is people need something to hone their focus on, something worthwhile to think about. So go clean your room while listening to a podcast. Or maybe you are doing the dishes while watching this video. In which case, congratulations, you're not part of the problem. On the other hand, if you just watched this video while pooping and are about to do none of the above, you might be. I personally
am pretty good at being productive.
My weakness is something else entirely, which I will lay out in another episode. In the meantime, if you'd like to share how you achieve productivity, or you want advice on productivity and time management, leave a comment. Thanks for watching.